I am Oliver Dunn, and this is your news for June 1st, 2014. The pro-Israel anti-Muslim power structure teams up with those looking to expand financial and resource control over the world by introducing a new propaganda point: barbarity in Muslim countries. Although for maximum effect, even barbarity in countries which are not Muslim are used with the understanding that the public will conflate it all. So stories about rape everywhere from India to Malaysia, death penalties for apostasy, and the kidnapping of girls for forced marriages or sexual slavery in Nigeria are all making the news. This reinforces anti-Muslim sentiment, as well as supports a case for intervention in Africa and Asia. African intervention is on the list for controlling the resources of the world. And the Asian presence, of course, is to drum up a new Cold War, this time involving the growing power of China. The occupying forces in Eastern Ukraine are having difficulty controlling the local population. Constant bombardment has resulted in atrocities such as the shelling of a school and kindergarten, injuring at least 9. Locals have shot down military helicopters sent in to provide support to the troops on the ground. And just recently, a military Air Force academy was surrendered by the troops to the local forces, forcing the retreat of 80 military personnel. Obama goes back on his promise to withdraw military forces from Afghanistan this year. He made a new promise that they will mostly be out of Afghanistan by the year 2016. This, of course, was not a shock. The initial promise he made was that he would bring all the troops home in 2008 as the first thing on his list. Snowden admits that he worked as a spy. Of course, without the support of a powerful agency, it would be difficult to understand how him and those around him could have gotten away with releasing all this information. On this point, who is supporting Bitcoin? Bitcoin is being supported in pseudo-alternative media by seemingly government-supported online propaganda. There have been many Bitcoin theft cases and loss with no penalties for those involved. Bitcoin allows transactions to all be cataloged and tracked either now or at a later date, particularly by those who have backdoors into encryption algorithms. Also, Bitcoin mining opens up a massive amount of computing power to those creating the problems for which the miners must solve to get extra Bitcoin. It has been proposed that these problems for mining could be encryption problems that an intelligence agency is handing off to millions of Bitcoin mining computers to solve to break encryption algorithms that they can't otherwise break, perhaps ones that are not backdoored by those intelligence agencies. Of course, it was revealed that the NSA had a backdoor into the RSA encryption algorithm, so it's possible that it or other powerful agencies have backdoors into current Bitcoin anonymity encryption algorithms. And that allows a few powerful organizations with those backdoors and with the computing power to be able to track all the transactions while hiding those transactions from other parties, giving those with the computer power and the backdoors a significant advantage. Finally, Europe embraced anti-statism, anti-authoritarianism, and most of all, anti-centralization by voting overwhelmingly for parties opposed to the centralization of power in Europe. In a feat of mental acrobatics, the media's talking point is that opposition to centralized control over Europe is somehow fascist. Related point is that all these parties that are being voted in are racist or somehow supported by racists. Of course, it's expected that informants for agencies are performing acts of extreme racism and trying to infiltrate these opposition parties who were voted in order to delegitimize them in the eyes of the public. However, it seems as though this will backfire because there's such overwhelming support for sovereignty and so much overwhelming opposition to the centralization of power and control from faraway places that it seems as though this will just erode any remaining credibility that the corporate media holds in the Western world.